Welcome back to Culinary Chronicles. My name's Daniel. I'm your host. Today we're going to be smoking a pork butt. So we're going to be doing pulled pork, and this can be used for potato sandwiches, tacos. It's a very versatile item, and it makes it a good basis point for either a barbecue, picnic, large dinner, family get-togethers among friends. Kind of this very useful all-around item that can be used for many purposes. So we're just going to do a simple rub on this one today. And so to start with that, we're going to actually score what's left of this fat cap. So this one's already been trimmed, but I want to score it just slightly so as to expose more of the meat underneath the fat, so we can get more of our seasoning through the fat cap as this cooks. So we're just going to do just quarter inch deep slits going crossways across the fat cap. Then we're going to start with our binder. I'm using olive oil again as my binder. Olive oil is one of my favorite binders. It's just simple, it's pretty cheap, it's something everyone has. You will notice, since this is a boneless one, that we do have kind of an opening. I like to add just a little bit. It's where the blade bone would be. So it's called a pork butt, but in reality it's a shoulder. It's actually part of the shoulder. So we're going to go ahead. Now we got the binder on there. We're now going to make our dry rub. So this is going to be a brown sugar based dry rub. We have 2 cups of brown sugar. We're now going to add 1/8 cup of red pepper flakes. This gives us a good little bite to it. 1/8 of a cup's really not going to do a whole lot to this. This is about an 8-pound pork shoulder. So we're going to add that. Then we're going to add in 1/8 cup of cumin. We're then going to add in 1/4 cup of onion, 1/4 cup of garlic, 1/4 cup of mustard, and we have 2 tablespoons of pepper and a tablespoon and a half of salt. So I did take it out of its wrapper and coat it in a light layer of salt just to try to help start dry brining it. You can always marinate pork butt if you'd like. I don't find it's really worth the time. It's just too big of a piece of meat. I just usually do a dry rub, and then after it smokes and hits 165, whenever we wrap it, we're going to wrap it with some hard apple cider, and that's going to help give us a more in-depth flavor throughout the meat. So we're going to go ahead and mix this all together. And my brown sugar got a little dry, so it is a little lumpy on us today. We're going to go ahead and get this all mixed up nice and good. So you're going to see that mustard throughout it. You're going to see the brown sugar. You're going to see kind of all the ingredients. They really stick out together. And we're going to go ahead and just start sprinkling it and sticking it on. As with all my rubs, once I use it, I don't keep it because I touch the meat, touch the rub, touch the meat, touch the rub, and I don't like the idea of cross-contamination. We're going to even stick some inside where we have that opening. Go ahead, make sure we get our ends. Just do a nice, good, solid coating over the entire thing. Flip it over. We're going to get this nice and coated on this side. Rub that. And we got a good coating. Now that we got this coated nice and good, we've got our smoker. Go ahead and preheat it. We've got it going up to 225 right now, and that's what we're going to smoke at the start. And we're going to run it it's going to take about 5 hours or so. We're going to put in a meat probe, run it with the meat probe, and this will just let us keep an eye on it because we're not really worried about time as much. It's more about what temperature is the meat. This right now is about 38 degrees or so. Just pulled it out of the fridge, and our goal is to hit it at 165 under bare smoke. We're using apple pellets. One of my favorite flavors to do with pork is apple. Is you run the apple and you can mix in a little bit of hickory or mesquite, kind of good hardwood, a good smoking wood. Those are good flavors to add to it. It doesn't really overall change massive amounts of flavor of the meat, it does give you good undertones that accentuates the flavor of the meat. As all my purposes with smoking, it's more about how well does it smoke and how well you get the flavor of the meat and the smoke rather than it is the flavors we've added. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thrown in there. I'm going to get the probe in. I'm going to wait and see what happens. Alright, so now that we've got it in the smoker, we're going to leave it. I'm going to be giving you updates as we go along. We'll be looking to wrap it in foil. I like to throw them in a pan, put in a little bit of liquid with them, wrap them in foil, and that's going to be our point once we hit 165. So if you are curious, since I have mentioned that I would like to point out where your food comes from, if you're curious on how pork is commercially raised here in the U.S., a good YouTube channel for that is This Will Do Farms. This Will Do Farms is a family farm based in Iowa that raises pigs. Great guys. I greatly enjoy watching them. They point out what really happens at pork farms. They raise very clean hogs. It's great to see. And so if you're interested, go ahead and hop over to their channel once we're done with this video. Alright, welcome back. So we finally hit that 165. It took us about 8 hours this time. Generally, it doesn't take that long, but this time was a little bit longer than normal. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out. We're going to put it in our pan. We're going to add, I'm using Angry Orchard hard cider, and then wrap it, and then we'll go back in until we hit 205. So let me go ahead and get pulled out, and we'll get started. So what you'll notice is we got the little drippings. That's nothing, that's just the fat melting off. But if you notice, we got a nice good bark on this one, especially on this other side. Nice good bark. This bark's going to be great. It's going to add us good texture. Now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add the entire bottle in. We're going to get this wrapped up. We'll go ahead and put it back in the smoker. We got to get up to 205. Once we hit that 205, we'll actually be done with this cook. I'm expecting another 4 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours. This one did stall around 150 and was at 150 for a while. Generally, you have a stall around 165, so I'm hoping we don't get the 165 stall and we already had that stall at 150. That's just going to make this cook a lot longer than it should be. Alright, so we've now hit that 205, so we're ready to pull it. So we're going to go ahead and get it pulled out of our smoker here. I'm going to shut off that smoker so it doesn't burn out and finish this off. Be careful, there is going to be some liquid in there. Closed up. Alright. Here we go. We got our nice pork done here. So my gloves are still dirty, so I don't have those with me to clean. But look at that. Just falls right on apart. I am going to leave this liquid in here just to kind of help keep the meat moist because it is 11 p.m. and we're going to have this for dinner tomorrow. As you notice, it just kind of falls right on apart, just like we'd like. Some great pulled pork. Excited about this. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or any ideas for future videos. We do have a few other ideas that we're testing out currently. We're hoping to have some more videos up, as our plan is, one video a week every Tuesday, and occasionally we may do a Thursday video. It does take me a while to edit these, so that Thursday video is going to be rare. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit like if you like this video, and leave us a comment below.